Sometimes it is so easy to take heavenly blessings for granted and completely overlook them without giving God thanks. Insects often fall into this overlooked category.
There's a lot of insects that we can probably do fine without, but God does tell us that they are His servants in earthbound armies that do His bidding. Paul wrote in Colossians that by Him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through Him and for Him, and He is before all things, and in Him all things consist. Not counting arachnids, since they are a different characteristic of creepy crawly. There are approximately 5 million species of insect worldwide, consisting of 2 billion bugs for every human being. That's a big number of 15 quintillion, 200 quadrillion insects. 18 zeros follow a quintillion, and a trillion is bad enough at 12 zeros in comparison. Suppose you caught just 1 quintillion insects, just one, and sold them all for $1 each. If our national debt is still at $20 trillion, you will have enough money to pay it off exactly 50,000 times. And that is just 1/15 of the amount of insects we've got. Of these 5 million insect species, about 100,000 are in charge of plant pollination. 20,000 species of bee and 17,500 species of butterfly make up part of this number. What makes up the rest of the 100,000? Well, not all species of moth are good for plants, and not all flies drink nectar either. But there are 160,000 species of moth and 120,000 species of fly, some of which do the rest of our garden pollination with the bees and butterflies. Yes, even your common housefly takes part in pollination too. It's not just limited to laying eggs in dead bodies and letting its young eat all the rotting flesh away. It does its part in helping you grow flower gardens too. Flies don't care much for the taste of pollen, but they love nectar and frequently go to flowers, or in this case, pussy willows, for a drink. As they move around on the blossom, pollen sticks to their hairs and is spread to other flowers the fly visits as well, and pollination takes place. They aren't as effective in pollination as bees are, but flies do help a little. There is so much variety in not just insects, but in the entire animal kingdom. All of them are complex in their own way, and we haven't come anywhere close to replicating their complexity in AI robotic form. Yet God dispatched them into existence in one 24-hour day from word of mouth. Moses wrote in Genesis 1:25 that God made the beasts of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was very good. Even if we know God through His Spirit and don't need evidence, scientific or otherwise, to know that God exists and that He created everything under His own authority, God encourages us to look at everything He has made, examine His fingerprints on them, and give praise and glory to Him. Isaiah wrote in chapter 40:26, "Lift up your eyes on high and see who has created these things, who brings out their host by number. He calls them all by name. By the greatness of His might and the strength of His power, not one is missing."